Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. I did a bit of work. I wanted to do something on Friday, but that was just not possible. So I just worked a bit through Friday, and I'm so sorry that I can just basically do an update video, but I'm happy. So more screens went up. I'm also taking a look at oxygen now. Can set up more stuff there. I added another module to the back of the command center, basically. So we can go in here. And this will be the way to the biodome or the arboretum, whatever we want to call it in the end. By the way, we got some nice suggestions for names for the base itself, and I will take definitely one thing. Someone suggested to call it Apollo Base, but what I would like to do is call the crater Apollo Crater, because as a bit of a how's that called? A bit of now the word escapes me, but because of the Apollo program, we want to honor that and say this is Apollo Crater, where we first landed on this object 85. This is at the moment is still moon base 085, and there was a lot of suggestions. I will have to filter through that, and not a lot. Give me a sec. So the main suggestions, and the one for Apollo came from Sergeant Gunslinger. He again suggested that as a tribute. That is what I was searching for. Zilch had something surrounding the scientific name of ravens, and I think their main category is the corvid or corvidae or something like that. I don't know. He had something surrounded corvid base or something, corvis lunae. That's nice. I think it's a bit too big. It's too. Alfred Dumas had some suggestions like Moonbase Alpha, Placid Base, and Crow's Nest. All very, very valid options. Crow's Nest is, I don't know, maybe a bit close to Raven's Nest, but we will see how that all turns out in the end. But again, we have a new nice module. That's will be a bit of a storage for the greenhouse, the biodome, the whatever we will call it in the end. And I couldn't stop myself. It's finished. We have a dome now that is even pressurized. We had to dig a bit to get a block down here into the bottom. Someone mentioned it, that this thing will not be airtight because there is a block missing. And that's absolutely true. Alex Hudson had mentioned that this wouldn't be something that you would set up first. Heavy industries, basically. And we have heavy industries. We have a refinery. We have some things. And you would, don't know, maybe make something like this out of the material that is on the moon. So something like aluminium or something like that. Cool ideas. We again, the realism, we have to sometimes stay away from it a bit. So, by the way, the grass moves. We say that this is basically a strong air vent that just blows air into this dome all the time, because that's an animation cycle I cannot break. We have some bushes, some trees in here. The trees are all too big for the cupola, for the dome, And one thing I really don't like is the constantly flying particles. But I'm happy with it. I'm happy having this thing here. We have some lights in here, and now we have a way to, don't know, plant crops if there's any crops. We have some bushes and some don't know, a nice look for the whole thing. I made an airlock to be able to get in and out on the other side too, and yeah, one of the next things I might do is bring in some, don't know, containers, some crates in here so that we can store, I don't know, whatever we need for a biodome, stuff like fertilizer or nutrients for the ground. And I don't know, it's so neat. The drill and fill really help with that. Let us take a look from the outside. Let me sit back a bit and change my microphone position. Good, the outside. Again, it's at the moment, everything is still a bit smooth. I might have to put some unfinished blocks around it so that it gets a bit more of a look of the modules. But this will be our basically first hard structure here that we can build off of. I like it. The dome shapes with the glass. Don't know. I'm always happy when I have done something like that. Great. So other things I did is I worked on the dropship that I was building, and I wanted to get deeper into it. The whole thing. Really, I don't know. I don't know why. I'm doing this now since the time I started. That I always wanted to have modular dropships where you have containers that you can just exchange and hang something else below it. And everybody else did it before me. KMax's version again was so nice and so cool that I said I need to do something similar. Let me get rid of some stuff. I need a wastewater implement here too, because I have all this gray water and I don't use it up. So you can see it in the corner there. The moment I have a container below it to transport people, it's again, everything is smooth, nothing is finished yet. But this thing works. It works nicely. I was really surprised. So I've made this thing that they had in Starship Troopers 2, basically, where they shipped in the soldiers and then let them run off the ramp. The bad thing is we cannot do the front in a nice way. That's why I chose 2 cockpits, so to give it a bit more width and all that stuff. I'm struggling with gyros. This thing with the gyros is it needs crazy amounts of gyros and will not be flyable without a container. I maybe have to add some groups to turn them off once I don't need them or something like that. So the ramp works too, so we can close a ramp here. It's relatively slow. I have to be really careful with it because it runs crazy amounts of force through the one rotor that I have here. Lock it down now. This is flyable. And we can unlock it and then bring it down again. It runs for some reason, or not for some reason. I need crazy amounts of power to close this thing. It might be better to go with 2 ramps. So maybe have something in the middle and then have 2 ramps, because this whole plate is far too heavy for the one rotor here. Have to think about this. It is again all at the moment in prototype stages, so there will be more work on this. But the cool thing is, if we close it again, I'm still struggling here. We can close it, lock it down. Come on. So it is locked, so now we can just take off, use the ship as usual, and it is not dropping. That's one thing that surprises me. I will make more tests to this. Maybe it is connectors that have the problem that ships drop while you have something attached. But everything's fine. So what you can do now is basically bring that to the ground, detach it, fly away with the dropship. If necessary, if you want to have the container back, you can get in. I have some cameras set up to guide you in, but it's easier to see everything from the outside here. So the problem is the sheer power of the thrusters here makes flying this thing a bit weird again once the container is not attached. So now we can take off again with the whole thing. Let me fly up to the ship. Power problems, also something that we definitely deal with, but that is all stuff we can change later. So at the ship, I have, give me a sec. At the ship, I have two more containers, the cargo container and one with tanks. So we can attach these two. Once this module for passengers is on, we can just carry this. We need more space for the passengers. It's just the way it works. But down there you can see we have the containers for cargo, the container for hydrogen and oxygen. Let me fly to it. This one I already showed off. So this is just, again, just cargo containers, and the other one holds. It is 9, I think, hydrogen. No, yeah, 9 hydrogen containers and 4 oxygen containers. I always think that oxygen is a lot more important, but usually we don't need to transport these amounts. I have to think how I will do that with the O2 generator on the ship itself, because as soon as I attach this tank cargo, it runs out of ice. It's nice. With this cargo module, we might be able to also transport rovers, but for the future, I think I will maybe make the rovers in a way where I can just put them beneath this thing and then lift them off into space or move them, something like that. And again, I really, really like it. And it still needs work. There will be some more details. For now, it's just a smooth hull. I'm working all around the house basically right now. The ship gets more work. I'm trying to still work out some holes, some concepts for, don't know what to fill the rooms with, because Moment it's just I don't know, it's a lot of empty rooms that need some purpose. Good. Okay, what's the time? So the next thing that we might want to do is start the rover on the planet or on the moon. Alex Hudson had a nice idea to maybe use a projector and a long line of blocks to take a look where basically the ground, how much difference there is in the ground elevation and what curvature there is. Good idea. I might try just with the rover, again with a really small drilling field going into the wall should make it possible to kind of get the curvature from on the ground itself. Basically, it's hard to explain. We really just have to test it. The dropship will come with me again. I'm still welding up the breast of this container, and I need to fill it with things. There is a connection for to the conveyor system, and once that is done, then I need to start to kind of get rid of some of the bugs that this thing still has. Again, the power usage of this thing is off the hook, and at the moment, even with 4 azimuth reactors, I'm not generating enough power to not sometimes just go into the red zone. That is something I need to address, because it's ridiculous. I'm using some hidden gravity manipulators or grav thrusters here. They work nicely, don't use up too much power, and give me the confidence that I don't crash even when the container is filled. And you can see how sluggish the whole thing moves. It's not nice. Okay. Let's get out of here, open this back up. And then we can maybe start the wheelbase for our rover. Why does this thing always vanish? That must be something with the cleanup. This part of the base, for some reason, always just goes away. I might have to connect it up. Let me repair this before we continue. We need. Oh yeah, I'm right now. I'm testing a mod that's on the workshop right now, the weapons core. And some modders have made weapons for this weapons core mod. I don't get it yet, because the one weapon I'm testing, it is the octolaser. Let me take a look if we can see it. It is a big laser, not a big, it's a 1-block laser turret, but it has 8 beams, but it has no settings, so there's nothing I can set. I can't say target this, target that. It just doesn't work. But it's all in a state of development, so I hope that comes in the future. There's more things. There's Lantian drones you can test, and one of the big weapons collections also transferred over to this. I have to take a look at it. for some reason it makes the game run sometimes a bit slow. I will have to really keep tabs on that. You all know that I'm sometimes just testing stuff, and I usually do it in this world as as maybe fatal that can be for a world, but I don't want to test it anywhere else. That's the main thing about it. I nearly took off there. I looked over there and saw the other pillar thing there, and it looked like as if somebody was standing there. Oh no. Halloween is over. I don't need horror things right now. Okay, let's plonk down some blocks. Put down the next thing. So this should prevent everything from deleting this part. I think it deletes it because it doesn't have any power, and if I go away, the cleanup will just get it. I will turn off these lights. So I might have to move pillar 2 over here or so. Good. Okay. This works out. We will use, again, I said it, these types of wheels. This can go, and this can go, and this can go. This can go too. You please pick that up. And now the question is how to handle this. I don't have a great idea yet how to set this up. One thing I saw on the workshop a lot are people that use the torsion springs and whips basically subgrid wheel control to make these rovers that have really intricate springs and all that stuff. I tried that with the rover, the big rover on Mars, and that didn't end well. So I might stay away from this. So, but how can we then have a nice, relatively realistic look here? So there is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's maybe not enough. This is 1, 2, 3. So 5. It might be enough if the stuff doesn't steer. I want to keep the wheelbase. I don't want to make a crazy big rover here. That's not the intention. The intent is more to, don't know, to make it look relatively realistic with, I don't know, with a bit more ruggedness. So there's a lot of examples out there from for rovers to use on Mars, to use on the moon, from different companies. I might really have to look into this. What we could do is a lot of these rovers have tube designs. So if we, for example, take the design that we have for our modules and maybe make a rover that has a similar look. So we could hang the rover chassis in between two brackets. So, or not two brackets, we make a bracket that runs over the whole thing, goes to the other side. There will be the other wheels, and then everything else is inside of this. So maybe that's a neat idea to I don't know, not keep it realistic, but to have a bit of a different design than I would usually go for. On Mars, I had this tank design, and no, wrong block. On Mars, I had this tank design, and here again, I need to look at more realistic proposed Moon and Mars rovers. Really need to do that. So have a bit something like the suspension going on. That will not work. There's too much going on again with breaking, with the scripts more or less breaking on me. So I will not go into that again. So now we could cut this off. Cut this off. Have some things going in here. And the question is, how much space do we really need in between these? And that is too big. It is just too big, though. The whole wheelbase is just too... It's just too crazy. So the problem is, I would like to bring this thing to over here, but that might not work. There's no connection point here. We would have to move it in anyways, so if I remove that, not the best, not the best, not the best. Maybe we can do it like that anyways. What could we try? that just takes too long. Maybe if we go and do this, then we can try to have it this way. Can we hide the rest inside of the rover itself? That might be an idea.
Energy low.
And then bring the two wheelbases really close together. That's a thing I can do. Good. I will do a bit of work to get this the ball rolling on these, on maybe the main body of the rover, and at least on these brackets, and then I can continue with this in between episodes, I would say. But that's maybe an idea I can do. These things have a wheel in the front too. How many blocks? So 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we will go and have this thing here. This will be the front. Because I don't plan to grab any of the stone, we might not have to go too crazy on the storage that we have in here. I want to maybe use 2 drill and fill systems, but otherwise we can stay away from going too crazy with it. Here I'm not sure if that works out the right way. Let me try something. This needs steering off, and this needs steering because that's the back. Okay. If I steer now, will I end up with hitting some of the blocks there? No, I'm not. Neat. If I bring that up now and maybe to the back, that could work out. Let me finish this. Bring this back. Okay. You bring this back. Move it up. And this will go back a bit more, and this part will go up a bit more. And then again, the main body and the main thing will hang in this thing. I will let me try to get that done so that we maybe can set it onto its own feet, and I hope then have a good visualization how I think I would like to do this. Give me a second. So as a base form, I can live with this. This is nice. This has to be smoothed out. I forgot that. Not nice. So with this, we have now this basically cage, and usually, I don't know, I think this stuff wouldn't be there. We will have to hide this a bit, but everything should be connected to this cage, and now we can hang something in here. Should be interesting, I have to see. I want to work with open cockpits, something similar to the moon rover, just a bit more intricate, a bit more heavy, for heavy loads. I don't know. Let us cut this loose. Maybe put a battery or so onto here. Maybe we can find a nice space for it where we don't have to remove it afterwards. That would be nice. No, that's the fluid battery. And we should use the normal battery. Something here. Somewhere in here so that we can keep it in there for now. Is it done? Okay. So now let's cut this loose. Replace the one block that we still have here. This should hopefully work. So turn off. Steering is turned off here. Steering. Steering. I really need to change the key layout there. That's just not really nice. Okay. And it drives. It's a bit, has a bit crazy power right now. But it works. That will change with weight. This will change. And again, the solar panel is on here to, at the moment, just keep it from despawning. The cool thing is, I think I can remove this part. Come on, let us try it. Yeah, it should be possible. It is connected up top. This needs cleaning up. Nice. Okay. Yeah, from here I can do a bit more work to, I don't know. What we will use that for later is maybe to transport goods in between bases or in between whatsoever. We will see. Let me take a look at the... I will have to end it here, but this is a good beginning, and I can think of some things I can do with this. And yeah, we need to find a way to connect some drill and fill systems to it and all this stuff. That will be something, yeah, I will do over time, I would say. Good people, I would say that's all for today. We did some updates, we did some work. Hope that is to your liking. If it is, then please leave a like on the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. See ya, guys.